That, yes, who is that making noise, please? Please mute your mic, Nana. Who is that? So your basic direct differences based on the length and transmission voltages, we are classifying it. And the placement of capacitance, right? So already we did with your short and medium transmission line. So as I said, that kind of analysis is not applicable for your long transmission lines. Here, we are supposed to assume your transmission line parameters are distributed uniformly throughout the length of the transmission line. Whereas previous case, short and medium, we have considered them as lumped elements. At one section, all RL, CR lumped means concentrated, and we did the analysis. Whereas here, that kind of analysis will give wrong results. Means while calculating your performance, that is nothing but calculating efficiency and regulation of transmission line, the values which we get are wrong. So to avoid that errors, we are supposed to assume the long transmission line parameters are uniformly distributed throughout length of the line, right? So if I show the picture, then it will be clear. Just I'm sharing the screen. Right. Are you able to see the screen? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Already we did this. Yesterday we have started this concept. So just in order to continue that analysis, you need to go through this once. So here I've written here, you can see length more than 200 kilometers and voltage is more than 200 kV. And your RLC are uniformly distributed, right? So by considering a uniform distribution, the performance analysis, the results are accurate. As a fourth point, the rigorous mathematical treatment is required to perform such analysis. Right? So here, to do so, you can see the diagram here. Now sending end voltage, receiving end voltage. These are the two ends, sending and receiving end, and these are the elements. You can see already I explained this. Just it's a quick revision. Try to understand this. The small r, small xl are resistance and inductive reactance of transmission line, which are connected in series. Whereas G and B, G is your conductance, B is your capacitive susceptance. So instead of directly showing it as capacitive reactance, we are denoting with capacitive susceptance. Just to have a simple calculation. Okay, calculation simple means while writing your impedance and admittances formulas, it will be easy. Okay, so here these are the terms related to your transmission line. So you can see the diagram here. So this, see, all constants are distributed uniformly. This is one section, this is one more section. So like this, all the sections combine to form a long transmission line. Based on this concept, based on this diagram, we have much to discuss, like wave traveling. I hope you heard wave traveling, right? If not, no need to worry, because the next concept is wave traveling. Because the voltage and current will travel as wave from sending end to receiving end. I'll explain that concept in next class, because today, as we do this analysis, almost the time will be over. So we'll do this analysis today. In next class, that is tomorrow, we'll see the wave traveling concept. Okay, so here, as I said, your constants are distributed uniformly. Fine. So next, so just to make analysis, as I said, we'll consider a small section of length dx, right? So here, same diagram, just I'm considering a small section, this dotted line. So where I'm placing my pointer, just you focus there. Okay. So this is dx. It's a small section of length in your transmission. This L is the capital, this L is the total length of the line. So now, while considering these distances, as I said, we need to have some reference point. So here we are taking a receiving end as a reference point. From your receiving end, we are measuring the distances. So this dx section is x kilometers away from receiving end. You can see the diagram. Don't get confused now. Simple term. This is entire length of the line L. Okay. We are considering reference as your receiving end. So from receiving end to the dx point, the distance is x. And this is the section we are considering, small section dx, differential section, right? So in this, look the other terms. Already you know this sending and okay. This is your sending and current, receiving and current, right? These are the common terms. Now here comes, see the term, voltage V. This is V plus dV. Current I. This is current I plus dI. Right? So here voltage V is a distance from the receiving end, and V plus dV is voltage at distance x plus dx. See, this is at this point. So we need to add up these two distances, x plus dx. So that is a V plus dV. Similarly, current intersection till dx is I. X plus dx is I plus di. And this one, z. See this small z. So in this diagram, we are not showing R and L, that is your inductive reactance, capacitive susceptance, and conductance separately. Directly, we are using your impedance and admittance formula. Just see my cursor point. Small z is the impedance, which is sum of resistance plus inductive reactance. Similarly, admittance, the shunt admittance is equal to sum of conductance plus capacitive susceptance. So these are per unit length, per phase. Right? This dx is the small section of length. Okay. So your simple logic. When I multiply this small z with capital total length, I'll get total impedance of line. Similarly, if I multiply my shunt admittance with the total length of line, I'll get the total admittance, capital. Just to differentiate your smaller section of length dx, the total length of the line L, we are writing it as small letters and capital letters. That's it. So it's not that comparison, just to have a clear idea, right? So after that, we'll start the analysis. So in this circuit, oh, you have understood with all the terms, right? So yesterday only you have written these equations. What I'm supposed to do? I need to find what I'm supposed to find. I need to find my voltages and currents at any instant. First, I'm supposed to find voltage and currents at any instant. Later on, I can use those equations to find your sending end voltages and receiving end voltages, sending end currents and receiving end currents. Okay, so our first task is to find the voltages and currents at any instant. So that instant will take it as x. Okay, so now, so yesterday you did this part. You have written the KCL, KVL, right? Yes or no? So you write your KVL to this loop. Already you did this part yesterday, which is equal to this plus this drop plus this voltage. Similarly, if I write KCL at this junction, which is equal to sum of this current minus this current minus current through your shunt part, right? Because we have only 6 terms here. So simply by using this, you can write your KVL and KCL equations, right? Is that clear? So just to have a better understanding, I'll show those equations here. So these are the equations. Okay, see this, I have written my KVL. So while writing this KVL, I told you to make some assumption. What is that? The Z into di dx. Di dx are infinitely small. So all the product of small z di and dx is very small, so that we can neglect that term. So when I neglect that term, I'll get dv by dx equal to iz. So you can see here, just I'm writing in box. I'll get dv by dx equal to iz. Similarly, if I apply case, I'll get di by dx equal to vy. These are the two main equations related to that circuit, right? So from this equations, now we have to find your voltages and currents at instant x, right? So now if we see here, find that we need to differentiate this equations 1 and 2. Which is now dv by dx, which is equal to iz, and di by dx, which is equal to vy. We are supposed to differentiate this with respect to x. So when I differentiate this with respect to x, so I'll get these equations. So just for your better understanding, I have repeated the equations here. I differentiate this, I'll get d square v by dx square, which is equal to z into di by dx. Similarly, other equation, d square I by dx square, which is equal to y into dv by dx. So here I have written, see this, from 2 means what you do is, from your equation 2, di by dx is equal to vy, you substitute here. So I'll get a final equation as this, d square v by dx square, which is equal to vyz, right? So similarly, if I simplify that current equation, I'll get d square I by dx square is equal to Iyz. So if you see these two equations, they are alike. They are in the similar form. Right? Now you are supposed to apply your math knowledge, mathematical approach. Right? So what I'm doing, you can consider any equation. If you consider this equation, you'll get same results. If you consider current equation, you'll get the same result. Because both are the same form, right? If we solve any equation, that is enough. Okay, you get same results. So this d square vy, just I'm again writing the equation here. D square, just I'm sending the term to left hand side. So this will be d square v by dx square is equal to sorry, minus vyz is equal to 0, which is a second order linear differential equation. So for that second order linear differential equation, you know this. If you know, okay, fine. If you don't know, just you keep this equation in mind. The second order differential equation as a general solution in the form of v equal to a1 e under root yz into x plus a2 e power minus root yz into x. So just here the terms plus and minus. So now our main aim is to find voltages and currents. So now I have voltage in terms of a1 and a2. So these are the constants. So to find those values, we are supposed to apply boundary conditions, right? So what I'm doing, so before applying these boundary conditions, I want current also, right? So to get my current, what I'm doing, I am differentiating this equation with x again. So when I differentiate that, I will get this equation. What is that? Where is that one? Yes. So this one, just you focus on my cursor. Don't see the entire slide. If you see the entire slide, you'll get confused. Just see this box plot. When I differentiate this with respect to x again, that will become dv by dx, right? Which is equal to iz. If I simplify that, I'll get root yz brackets a1 e power root yz into x. This is minus because this is e power minus, so we'll get it minus. So we'll get this term, complete term. Yes, you can see the term. I'm not reading out all the terms, right? From this, I can write now I equal to under root y by z brackets a1 e to the power root yz into x minus a2 e power under root yz into x. This is negative sign, right? So just to have, in order to avoid some confusion, what we did is, according to the exact textbook, I have changed the equations. So changes is nothing but here you can see here. This equation is in a1 thus, right? So I'm writing this a1 as a, okay, this a2 as b. Remaining everything is same. Exponent root yz into x plus exponent minus root yz into x. Just to avoid the confusion, a1, a2, a2, a1. Okay, is that clear? Right. So now b equal to this, a1 equal to a and a2 equal to this. Here, what I'm doing is, I am taking an assumption. What is that assumption? I am considering root under root z by y as zc and root yz as gamma. Okay, which is again further, if you write, it will be alpha plus j beta, means nothing but real term plus. See here, simple logic is impedance as real term and imaginary term, admittance as real and imaginary term. So if you take product of those terms, again you will get a real and imaginary. So that's the reason he's writing that gamma as alpha plus j beta. Alpha is a real term, beta is a imaginary term because it is multiplied with j. So based on this equation, we are going to see the wave traveling concept. So in tomorrow's class, we'll see that concept. Okay, so just for time being, to complete this analysis, you assume that gamma as under root small y small z, zc as under root small z by small y. So we have a name for them. Zc is known as characteristics impedance. Why it is said to be characteristic impedance, and gamma is known as propagation constant. Why they are named as such, we'll see tomorrow, because to explain that, because you are supposed to understand that wave traveling concept. Okay, so just for time being, we are denoting the small impedances and admittances with ZC, and product of impedance and admittance as gamma. And ZC is known as characteristic impedance, gamma is known as propagation constant. We will see the significance of this ZC and gamma tomorrow. Okay, don't get confused now. What do you mean by propagation constant? What do you mean by ZC? We'll see tomorrow. Fine. So now, so if I replace those terms in your equation, see this equation, V equal to A, exponent E. So what is this root YZ, which is gamma? So I'm writing here gamma X, right? Plus B exponent minus, what is this again? Gamma. So minus gamma X. So this gamma X is not clearly, it's not that clear, but it is minus gamma X. Okay, just we are replacing these terms with gamma and ZC. And fine. What about I? You have to use this equation for I. Okay. What about I? I is nothing but, what is that? It is a ratio of y by z, under root y by z, and again this is A and this is B. Okay. So A e power gamma X minus sign minus A2 is nothing but B e power minus gamma X. Right. Now see this term. What is this term? It is under root y by z. But what is your ZC? Under root z by y. So that's the reason we are writing this as what? 1 by ZC. Okay. Is that clear, please? I want anyone to respond on behalf of your classmates. If you are silent like that, and I'm teaching in one way, it is not correct. So roll number 47. Why is this 47? No response. So has ready.
Sir, okay, sir. Clear.
Everyone could respond. I want.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Right. So these are the final equations. Just I'm keeping it in box and I'm denoting with equation 1 and 2. So just these two equations, keep it in your mind. V equal to A e power gamma X plus B e power minus gamma X. I is 1 by ZC bracket A e power gamma X minus, same equation, just minus and plus. Okay, now we'll continue the analysis. So as the next step, what I'm supposed to do, I need to find my A and B values, right? In this equations, I need to find A and B values. When I know A and B, I can determine the voltages and currents at any instant, right? Our first task is to determine V and I at an instant. So while in V and I, we have encountered with these two constants, A and B. So first, we are supposed to simplify this A and B. To solve this A and B, what I'm doing, according to your maths knowledge, what we are supposed to do, we need to apply boundary conditions, right? Boundary conditions. So we are taking this reference end as receiving end, right? So So when we are taking receiving end as a reference, so definitely the distance will be 0, right? Then voltage will be VR, current will be IR. So you substitute those values x equal to 0, v equal to VR, I equal to IR in your previous expressions, right? When I substitute them, I'll get VR equal to A plus B, IR equal to 1 by ZC A minus B, right? Next, what am I supposed to do? I need to solve this VR and IR, right? So when I solve these two equations, I'll get A equal to 1 by 2 VR plus IR into ZC, V equal to 1 by 2 VR minus IR into ZC. This equation is very simple to remember, it seems. Just you see here, VR and IR, A plus V and A minus V, right? So current capacity we are dividing with the impedance and a negative sign. That's it. So I got A and B. After substituting your boundary condition, these conditions in your equations V and I, I'll get VR and IR. If I simplify it further, I'll get my A and B. Now, what am I supposed to do? You have to substitute this A and B in your main equations. That is nothing but your V and I equations. So when I substitute your A and B in your this main equations, see this box. If I substitute that, I'll get my voltages and currents. That's it. So when I know once, if I determine the voltages and currents at an instant, so I can find my sending end voltage, sending end current, and all the terms, right? So here, yes, I am erasing these marks so that it will implicate in the next slide. So now, so here substituting, after substituting, so this A value I'm substituting, this is A, this is E per gamma X, this is E per gamma X, this is B, so B, which is nothing but 1 by 2 VR minus IRZC, E per minus gamma X, E per minus gamma X. Similarly, current, what is current? 1 by ZC into same term, but subtracted. A and B are subtracted, so same thing. 1 by ZC, yes, 1 by ZC, A, E power gamma X, E power gamma X, right? Minus, B into E power gamma X, B into E power gamma X. So already you know this. What is ZC? Root under root small z by small y. Gamma is under root small y into small z, right? So with this, you are able to determine the voltages at any point. So here the point we have considered distance x, right? So these are the voltages at the distance x, okay? So when you know this voltages and currents, I can find my sending end voltage and sending end current. How to find? Yes, how to find? That's simple. What is this x? This is a distance x. So if I want to find my voltages at sending end and currents at sending end, so according to my circuit, we are taking receiving end as reference. So at sending end and receiving end, the total length of the line, we are assumed it as L, right? Yes or no? So as we assume the total length L, just simply substitute L in place of X. So I'll get sending end voltages and currents. That's it. So that's how we can determine the voltage and currents. And first, we are supposed to find V and I at a particular instant. Here, the instant is x distance from the receiving end. Later, we have to multiply the equation with the total length of the line so that we can get sending and receiving. So, sending and voltages and currents. Right. So, if you move on further, see the simplification I did here. Again, you know to recall your max knowledge here. The simple and again, what we did is nothing extra new thing. This already you know. Already said gamma is equal to under root small y by small y into small z, right? So which further simplified written as alpha plus j beta. So just I am making use of this equation, that is a propagation constant. Just to make the calculation simpler, nothing that. So compulsory the use just it is not like that. Simply if you multiply with the length, you'll get final equations. So how we are getting those equations? To have a clear understanding, I am showing this one. Okay. So what I'm doing, gamma is replaced with alpha plus j beta. Okay. So these two are my main equations. O, V and I are main equations. So what I'm doing, just this gamma I have to replace with alpha plus j beta. So when I replace with alpha plus j beta, so if you use your max knowledge, e power alpha plus j beta can be written as e power alpha x into e power jpx. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The similar way, e power minus gamma x can be written as e power minus alpha x multiplied with e power minus j beta x. Right? So what we did, just simply we are writing gamma as alpha plus j beta. So e power something is nothing but product. That is your max knowledge. Okay, nothing electrical here. Fine. So just I'm erasing this red box because this will be reflected in the next slide. Right. So now, after doing this, just I'm rearranging the equation. So what we are doing, just I'm writing all the V terms, receiving voltages at one side and receiving currents at one side. So, okay, receiving current is multiplied with ZC. Okay, fine, let it be. But VR is not multiplied with ZC. So that's the reason VR is single term. IR is product with ZC. And just I'm rearranging the terms, that's it. Okay. So when I do that, I'll get a final equation as this. VR into VR E. Right. What is this? There's again your max thing. VR, if you simplify that, you will get this E gamma. I think it should not be E gamma. Hyperbolic function, correct? And Anna, this one? E gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2 is nothing but cos x. Correct? Anna? Please, anyone,
Yes,
help me out. Because
Yes, sir. Yes.
exact
Correct, sir.
math knowledge in the depth level. So please help me out in this. E power is cos h gamma etc. This is a sin h gamma etc. If it is right, we'll move on. Okay. So just
Yes.
e power gamma x and e power this thing. So now what is doing? What is doing here? Further is writing this the same. Okay, right. So same v and I is writing in terms of hyperbolic functions. So you may get it out, sir. Y is going for hyperbolic functions. So at hyperbolic functions, we are not creating it. Just as we are dealing with your real and complex terms, When you simplify that, we are getting these things. Wantedly, we are not making use of your hyperbolic functions, right? And we have seen the steps how this are coming to the picture. Fine. So these are your final equations. I and VR cos J plus this is right. Next, if we consider total length of the line, then you are to replace x with L, voltage will be Vs, I will be Is. So when I substitute all these terms, x equal to L and V equal to Vs and I equal to Is. So I get your sending end voltages and sending end currents like this. As I already said, because as we are taking receiving end as a reference, so it means we know the values of receiving end voltages and currents. Okay, so here all are known terms. So by using these known terms, we are able to find sending end current and sending end voltage. These are your final equations. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is taken from standard book. That is your CL Vadva. So some student may refer CL Vadva or JB Gupta or Vimra, or it may be. So there. Oh, sorry. We need to continue. By seeing this equation, you can write your two-port network equation, right? Vs is equal to
Yes, sir.
some
AVR.
constant AVR. This is BIR. Similarly, CVR, DIR, right? So from this, if I equate this equation with your two-port network equation, what I'll get? This thing. Just I'm writing here. I'm showing the slide. If I equate that equation with your two-port network equation, directly I can say A is equal to cos H gamma L, B is equal to ZC sin H gamma L, C is sin H gamma L by ZC, and D is cos H gamma L. So from seeing this constants, you can compare. See, A and D are equal. So your first condition is satisfied. Next condition, we need to check AD minus BC. So I substitute AD minus BC. So if I simplify this, hyperbolic function low cos H square minus sin H square will be 1, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now good objection. Very good. So this is 1. So ZC cancels. So cos H square gamma L minus sin, this is sin H square gamma L is equal to 1. So our two conditions are satisfied. I know ABCD values. I know sending end voltages and currents. So by knowing this, I can find my efficiency and regulation. Right? Because to find your efficiency and regulation, I'm supposed to know all the parameters. That is sending end parameters and receiving end parameters. Right? So now if we move on further, so this is from another textbook. Just for your understanding, I have written this because any other student, if you refer other textbook, it makes the same sense. So what he did is just 2 minutes. With this we will wind up. What they did is, as you know, gamma is small y z under root, right? Z is under root small z by y. If you multiply this with total length, right? What I'm doing, just we are multiplying with total length. So small y into L will be total impedance, sorry, total admittance. Similarly, Z into L will be total impedance. Am I getting my point? Please try to understand. There is nothing technical or any complexity here. Simply what he is doing, just he is multiplying the impedances and admittances with the total length. So I'll get total admittance and total impedance. So finally I can write product gamma L is equal to under root capital Y capital Z. Similarly, if I multiply ZC with L, I'll get ZC into L will be under root Z by Y. And what happening is here in previous equations we were writing gamma L like that, right? So instead of using gamma L directly, if you make use of this, if you write in terms of impedances and admittances, it will be easy. But both make the same sense. They give the same meaning. Okay, and it will look as a simplified one like this: Vs equal to Vr cos root Yz plus IR into root Z by Y sin root Yz. Means see the terms. All terms in both the equations we have admittance and impedance, so that while solving numerical it will be easy. That's it, nothing difference in that. So again here also we have checked that the conditions A equal to D and AD minus BC, so we got same 1 and A equal to D and AD minus BC is equal to 1. So with this your long transmission line concept is done. So if you have any doubt, please ask me right now, or you can WhatsApp me later, or you can call me. But if you want to ask, you can ask me now. Yes, please, any doubt? For the next class, we'll see the significance of that propagation constant and characteristic impedance, because again it will take 1 hour class to explain that. So that's the reason I have skipped it for tomorrow, because tomorrow we need to see the wave equation concept. So while seeing that, you will encounter with this. Means by using these constants only we are supposed to analyze that thing. Yes, please, anyone? Anyone? Shall I pick one, or take another name today? There's only few names are able to display, but yet total 46 participants. 32.
Sir,
Is that clear? Any doubt?
no, sir.
Very good. Next to 32, I can see here Sahiti.